Hello, everybody. Welcome to our sign language class. I hope you've all had a really great, lovely Christmas. It's hard to believe that Christmas is already over, but I want to say a big happy new year to everyone. I hope that your 2022 is going to be a really great year for you all. And I hope it's going to be a bit different to last year and even better. I know 2021 wasn't easy for a lot of people, for everyone really. So anyway, let's get excited about teaching sign language because I certainly am. And I want to say thank you to the Royal Voluntary Service for giving me this opportunity to teach you all some more sessions. All right, so today the plan is, let me tell you, we're focusing on facial expressions. And why I'm focusing on that is because BSL and English is completely different. So we're also going to be looking at the grammar structure, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today in our session. Now, before I get stuck in, for those of you who it's your first time, a really warm welcome to our sessions. My name is Anthony Sinclair, and it's really lovely to meet you all. Now, you'll see two people on screen. One is our sign language interpreter. So as I'm signing, she's translating into English. And then the interpreter will also translate from English back into sign language. And it's amazing how that process works. It really is. So for those of you who've been to the sessions before, hey, welcome back to you all again. It's brilliant to have you. Okay, now you can see behind me, what have I got stuck up? It's all the weather signs. And basically, well, I'm based in Belfast and in the country in Northern Ireland. Oh, it's such a beautiful country in Northern Ireland. Maybe some of you have been here before. I don't know. If you haven't, then please do come and visit us in Northern Ireland. Ignore the news where they talk about the dangers of Belfast and all of that. It's nothing like that. Don't you believe a word of it. It is a beautiful country. We've got the hills, we've got the mountains, we've got the cities, the seas. Oh, we've got everything. It's beautiful. Just come and see Northern Ireland. We've got Northern Ireland's a really friendly place. But anyway, the weather at the moment in Northern Ireland is really icy. We've got 1 degree, 1 or 2 degrees at the moment, so it's really cold. I took my two sons out for a walk. We were going to school this morning with them, and it was so icy. We were skating all over the place, but you know what? They loved it because they were gliding as we went along the footpath that was all iced over. I was telling them to be careful not to fall, but sure, boys will be boys. They just cracked on and slid around the place, having a great time. I was grateful to actually get to school and get them in there safe and sound. But it was a lovely walk, and it's lovely weather at the moment. We've got really blue, dry, crisp kind of weather. It's lovely. So I don't know where you're all from, whether you're in Scotland or England or Wales. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but I hope you're enjoying it. I was just chatting to someone who is from Brighton, and they said that it's lovely weather, but I think that's because the proximity to France, a little bit further south. So we'll see how the northern regions perform anyway. All right. So what we're going to teach today, we're going to teach some sign language. So let's crack on. First, I'm going to teach you some vocabulary items that link to the weather. And then that's going to help us understand what we mean by facial expressions once we've got those basic building blocks of the vocabulary. And then I'll explain the difference between using that vocabulary in English and using the vocabulary in British Sign Language. So if you already know the signs for weather, don't worry. But if you don't remember them, we'll teach. We'll teach you them. Don't worry. Now, what I do need to explain is across the UK there is regional variation. Now, it's all British Sign Language as such, but there's just slight variations in some vocabulary, and that's the same as the idea of an accent or, colloquialisms in English. So, right, ready to start? I hope so. So, the sign for weather, first of all, is like this. Weather. Weather. Okay, great. Okay, so now you can see the pictures behind me. Let's look at those. So, the sun. The sign is sun. So it's imagine the sun shining on your face from up in the sky. That's how we sign sun. Sun. Okay, now on to rain. 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 Snow. 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 Okay. Well, let's adjust this camera so you can see it. Got thunder. 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 Wind. Wind. Cloudy. Cloudy. Okay, so now I'm going to repeat all of the vocabulary that we've just learned. Ready? Weather. Sun. Rain. Snow. Thunder. Wind. Clouds. Well done, everyone. Okay, now let's test. Let's test you. So I'm going to sign, and I want you to guess what it is I'm signing. When you've got a guess, please put it in the comments. Or if you're with someone, maybe you're watching this with friends or family, then tell them what you think it is if you don't want to pop it in the comments. All right, ready? So number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Great. Well done, everyone. Okay, so now I'll give you the answers. Okay, number 1. What was it? It was snow. Number 2 was thunder. Number 3, what do you think it was? It was sunshine. It was sun, yeah. Number 4, what was that one? Do you know? It was cloudy. Number 5, what about that one? It was rain. Number 6, what about that one? Yeah, a lot of you got it right. It was windy. And now we've got number 1. Do you remember what number 7? Oh, sorry, we've got one more. Do you remember what number 7 was? It was weather. Yeah, that's right. Weather. Okay, so well done, everyone. Okay, right. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit about facial expression. So facial expressions in sign language is so important. It's absolutely a must. Without facial expressions, sign language doesn't really mean anything. It's a bit like, well, also facial expressions are just, they make it beautiful to watch the language. It's like adding color. So whenever you're speaking, if you were speaking in a very plain, flat, monotonous voice, it's the same as having no facial expressions. If you're speaking with great excitement and intonation and tone, that's what facial expressions are in sign language. So it's just the same. So the more facial expressions, the more interesting it is, the language that you're producing, the more storytelling, the more fun, the more clever the language. It's much more of a story that people are really going to want to watch and take note of. So if I explain about facial expressions I'll use one word as an example. So in English, you've got the word rain. But there's different ways of describing rain. So you can have light rain, you can have an average sort of rain, or you can have really heavy rain. So in English, you would have light rain, you'd have rain, or you'd have heavy rain. But in sign language, we don't have, lots of different words. We don't put two words together to describe heavy rain, light rain. We actually just use the one sign and we change how we sign it to show what the type of rain is. So I'll show you what I mean. First of all, I'll explain how you would sign light rain, okay? So I'll sign it in English and then I'll sign it, in a very English language kind of way, which is light rain. So that follows English language, light rain. But you see how that didn't have any facial expressions? It was very plain. So watch my face really carefully as I do this now. Ready? Light rain. Okay, so you can lip read me and you can see what the words are that I'm saying, light rain, but it's not much in terms of facial expressions. But now let me demonstrate it the way I would express language. So it's the concept of light rain done in BSL. So that's how I would sign it. So then if we think about the next level of rain, standard rain, I'll show you the very sort of English way of doing it, English language way of doing it. Rain. Whereas if I was signing it properly, okay, so it's a bit similar, but you see those subtle differences. Okay, now the third level of rain that we're going to talk about is heavy rain. Okay, so that's a very English standard way of signing it. So I'll show you the kind of English grammar way of signing it is heavy rain. Okay, so again, heavy rain. Okay, but if I was to express it in BSL, in my own language, ready? So that's how I use my language, and it's with facial expressions, it's without lip pattern, and it's much more visual and much more engaging. And sign language is such a visual language. English, you can kind of speak and sign the same order, but we don't follow English grammar when you're signing British Sign Language. You can use some lip pattern, but actually facial expression is so much more a part of the language than needing to do any sort of lip pattern. So that's how we would sign it in full BSL. Okay, so I'll show you that again, the three options that we were talking about in BSL as I would describe it, okay, in my own language. Ready? So the first one, second one, all right. So I'll do that one more time just to show you how I modulate it. So that shows how one sign can actually produce three different meanings. And it's just the sign for rain, but it depends on what the rain's doing. Is it light? Is it kind of normal? Is it really heavy? And you use the same sign, and it's just amazing how it can be changed. So I've only shown you the example for one word, but can you imagine how that can be expanded throughout the language and how we can have so many different ways of expressing ourselves with every item of vocabulary in the language? I mean, it's just such a rich language. Right, now I'm going to test you. Okay, ready? So you have to guess which one it is of the three that I've shown you for rain, which one I'm signing. Okay, so first one. And again, please put it in the comments box, or if you're with people, then say your answer, say your guess to the friends or family that you're with. Ready? So which one's that? Number two. Ready? Number three. Ready? Okay, great. Right, you ready for the answers? Okay, so the first one that we did was heavy rain. Yeah, a lot of you got that right. It was really pelting down. Number two, what was our second question? Yeah, again, lots of you got it right. It was light rain. Just a bit gentle, a bit mizzly. And the third question, number three, was your standard rain. It's raining. So well done. So if you want to know more about, maybe you want to, if you've got any questions about facial expressions or you have any specific ask, please put them in the comments and I'll read them and I'll be able to, uh, answer them. But just the main takeaway from today is just how visual sign language is and how important it is to have really clear facial expressions when you're signing. Okay, right. Let's learn a few more signs. So I'm just going to flick my camera around so that you can see my next vocabulary that we're going to do. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of words we're going to learn. Let's start with bright. Bright. So it's the B hand shape. So it's the letter B. And then it brightens up in front of you. Bright. Okay, and our next one is dark. 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 So it's bright and dark. Okay, beautiful. 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 All right, miserable. Miserable. So beautiful and miserable. All right, I'm going to teach you another word. It's not actually on the list behind me, but the word is day. Day. Okay? Day. Day. So you can say, beautiful day. Oh, it's a miserable day. Good day. Oof, bad day. So this is good and this is bad. Good and bad. So have a good day. Oh, I'm having a bad day. I'm working. But not here. I'm not talking about working here. Certainly not. Okay, rainbow. 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 Oops, where am I going? There we go. Icy. Ice. Icy. See how my hands are coming in towards my body? If I show you from that angle, I'll show you from this angle as well. Icy. Icy. Okay, so let's repeat all the ones we've done so far. Bright. Dark. Beautiful. Ugh, miserable. Day. Good. Bad. Rainbow. Icy. All right. Now let's test you. Ready? Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Okay, great. Well done, everyone. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the answers. Ready? Okay, so number 1. It was bad. Yeah, that's right. So number 2, what did you think that one was? Yeah, it was icy. What about number 3? Yeah, again, lots you got it right. Miserable. Number 4, what was that one? Yeah, it was dark. Number 5. Yeah, it was day. Number 6, what about that one? It was good. Number 7, what about that? Rainbow. Number 8, what did you think there? Yeah, a lot you got it right. It was beautiful. Number 9, what's that one? Bright. Yeah, well done. Well done, everyone. There's a lot of learning going on today. It's a lot to take on. Okay, so now we're going to do some more. Okay, so I don't expect you to remember everything that we've covered, so really don't worry if you're not retaining all of it, but you might just be able to pick out a few words that we're covering and remember those ones. So I'll teach them all, but I'll explain then later how we use them. All right? So ready? So morning. Now I'm going to focus on English, Scottish, Welsh signs first because there is regional variation. Okay, so I'll teach you those ones first. All right, so morning. Morning. So it goes across the body and then from one shoulder to the nearer shoulder. Morning. So you can say good morning. Afternoon. 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 All right, evening. Evening. So it's, you see the other sign that we did was dark. So it's similar, but watch exactly how I assign these, okay? So if we go with dark first, dark. Okay, and now evening, evening. See how they're fractionally different? It's a little bit slower, okay? So evening. Yesterday. See, I'll do it this way so you can see. It goes from my cheek backwards, okay? So it's going backwards from your cheek. Yesterday. I'll do it this angle as well so you can see. Yesterday. Okay? Yesterday. So tomorrow. Tomorrow. So you see how that one's going forward, tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yesterday goes backwards. Tomorrow goes forwards. Yesterday. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. And today. 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 Okay, great. So let's repeat them all. Morning. Afternoon. Evening. Yesterday. Today. Tomorrow. Great, well done. Okay, so now we're going to focus on Northern Ireland signs for a little while, okay? So if you're from Northern Ireland, these are the signs for you. The ones we've done so far for England, Scotland and Wales, so ignore the next set if that's where you're from. Okay? So, morning. So you got two thumbs up and they go from your hips up to your chest. Just from your tummy, really. I'm not sure I can get high enough to show you. Morning. Morning. Afternoon. Afternoon. Evening. Evening. So use your thumb rather than your finger, and it's yesterday, going backwards. See, your thumb strokes back on your cheek. Yesterday. Yesterday. Tomorrow, we're back to the finger, so it's tomorrow, flicking forward. Tomorrow. So it's yesterday with the thumb, tomorrow with the finger. Yesterday. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay, today. 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 Okay. Just showing you from all the angles. Today. Okay, so I'm going to repeat them all, but again, this is just for Northern Ireland, all right? So these are just the Northern Ireland signs. Morning. Afternoon. Evening. Yesterday. Today. Tomorrow. Okay, well done, everyone. That's great. Right, now let's test you. You ready for that? So, if you see a sign that's a bit different, it's maybe because there are regional variations, as I said before. Don't worry about it too much. But if you see someone signing slightly differently, that's why. Okay, so number one. Today. Ooh, the interpreter said it. That's not a very good test. We'll ignore that one. Right. So let's do number one. and the two different signs. Okay, number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Okay, great. Now, let's tell you the answers. Ready? So, number 1, what was that? Well, of course, it was today. Okay, number 2, though, what was that one? It was afternoon. Okay, number 3, what about that one? It was yesterday. Or the sign in Northern Ireland is yesterday. Number 4, what about that one? Yeah, that's right, it was morning. Or in Northern Ireland, it's signed morning. Number 5, what about that one? Well, it's tomorrow. And number 6, what was that? Yeah, it was evening. Or in Northern Ireland, evening. So well done, everyone. That is an awful lot to learn today. All right, great. So now I'm going to teach you 2 more words. And then that's it, I promise. So it's to do with temperature. So hot, hot, and now the English sign is freezing. Okay, so in England, Scotland, Wales, the sign is freezing. Freezing, okay? But in Northern Ireland, we would sign it like this. Freezing. Freezing. Okay? So, gosh, you have learned an awful lot of different signs today. Now I'm going to explain a little bit about how English and BSL has a different grammar structure. Okay? So I'm going to explain and hopefully explain what it's like in each language. So if you think about a question, in English language, you would say, what is the weather like today? Okay, so we're all familiar enough with that question. But it's kind of hard to explain the next bit. But in English, we use a past tense, a present tense, and a future tense. So we talk about the past, but in BSL, that's behind us. Present is like whenever we're talking about today, you know, what we're doing right now. And then we've got the future tense. Okay, so actually, I'm just going to swing around 1 second. Bear with me. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. My battery was running out and I needed to plug it in there so I didn't lose you. Right. Okay, so we were talking about the past tense, present tense, and future tense. So in English has tenses, whereas BSL has very different way of showing it. But there are rules of how the language behaves. So in BSL, when you're expressing yourself, you always express the time first, then the topic, and then the third part of any sentence is the comment or the question. Okay? So I'll explain that again. So in BSL, the grammar rules are that first you start with the time, so when, then you go to the topic, so what it is you're talking about, then you go to the comment or the question, okay? So if we go back to that sentence that we talked about in English, so what is the weather like today? So that's how you would express it in English. If you're going to translate that to BSL, I'll show you exactly how it is, okay? So today, weather, what? Okay, so that's the sentence translated into BSL. I'll do that again today. So today, weather, what? I'll do it again one more time. Ready? Just watch. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the Northern Ireland sign of way of signing it. Okay, so today, weather, what? I'll do that again. Okay, so you can start to see, maybe not get the full picture, but you can start to see how things come together in sign language with the time, topic, comment. So in English language, you would say, what will the weather be like tomorrow? Okay, so that's a lot of words. But I'm now going to show you how that sentence would translate into BSL. Tomorrow, weather, what? Okay, so I'll do that again. I nearly got it wrong there. Right, tomorrow, weather, what? I'll do it one more time. Okay? So, one last thing to tell you. In English, we'll do the question, right? What was the weather like yesterday morning? Okay, so what was the weather like yesterday morning? But let's translate that into BSL for English people, English, Scottish, and Welsh people, first of all. So yesterday morning, weather, what? I'll do that again. Yesterday morning, weather, what? I'll do it one more time. Watching? And now I'll show you the Northern Ireland version. Yesterday morning, weather, what? And again. Yesterday morning, weather, what? Let's do it one more time. Well done, everyone. Okay, so you can see the differences between English language grammar and British Sign Language grammar. Now, I have taught a lot of people. I teach in schools, in hospitals, in workplaces, I teach families. I teach loads of different places. But the most common feedback that I get is confusion over BSL and English. So it's confusion between the two languages. But there shouldn't really be any confusion because, well, they're very different languages. If someone is speaking English at me and trying to stick on signs at the same time, it can be really difficult to get confused. Um, or sorry, it can be very difficult to understand what they're saying. Now, it'll depend on an individual's hearing loss. If they've got minimal hearing loss, maybe that helps. English, following English language grammar, but it can be quite confusing if you sign with the English language grammar. It can also, some people might have different levels of vision. So some people might be long-sighted, short-sighted. So the same thing happens with hearing loss as well. Just to give you an idea of what I mean when I talk about different levels of hearing loss. So my point is, anyway, if a person's speaking and signing a little bit of BSL signs in everything, I won't necessarily understand it because BSL is so visual. Whereas written English, that's easier to understand English, but if they're signing with BSL, it's almost like two languages kind of melded together. So it's trying to stick a visual language onto a very different grammar structure can be quite difficult. So if you don't have the understanding of BSL grammar, then it can sometimes be better to write it down, because at least then I'm getting the right language with the right grammar rather than using one language with another language's grammar structure, which can be quite confusing. The word order you see in English is totally different, and it can be quite difficult to try and work out what's going on if I'm seeing BSL signs but seeing English grammar coming at me. And it's, at least if you're signing, using BSL grammar makes it so much easier to understand that that language. But of course, everyone's an individual, and the communication needs to be matched to the individual and meet their needs. All right, so I hope from that you've got a little bit of an understanding of what it is we're doing. Certainly not easy to understand, but this can be a big thing to try and get your head around. Now, we've only used weather as an example. This is just like a little taster of what BSL grammar can be, but imagine how that can then be scaled out to the rest of the language. It's an amazing language. All right, so now I'm going to go through a few questions and answers. All right? Okay, ready? Tomorrow, afternoon, weather, what? Tomorrow, afternoon, I'm nearly getting myself confused. Weather, sunny, bright, beautiful. Sorry, I was getting myself a bit tripped up with the Northern Ireland and the English regional variation, but anyway, we'll get there. So, tomorrow afternoon, weather, what? So what's the weather going to be like tomorrow afternoon? The answer is tomorrow afternoon, weather, sunny, bright, beautiful. Okay, let's do that again. Tomorrow afternoon, weather, what? Tomorrow afternoon, weather, sunny, bright, beautiful. Now, remember your facial expressions in all of this. So we'll talk about rain now. So we had light rain, regular rain, heavy rain. So you can use the same idea of changing a sign with your facial expressions for bright. So you can sign bright. You can sign, oh, it's so bright. It is really bright. Okay, so let's think about wind and how we might change wind. So we have windy. We have fairly windy. So that's much more windy than normal. There's just innumerable ways that you could change it depending on exactly the level of wind. Okay, so let's do one more time through everything and then we'll finish up. All right, so ready? Weather, sun, rain, snow, thunder, wind, clouds, bright, dark, beautiful, ugh, miserable, day, good, bad, rainbow, icy, morning, or in Northern Ireland, morning, afternoon, evening, or in Northern Ireland, evening, yesterday, or in Northern Ireland, yesterday, today, and in Northern Ireland, today, tomorrow. Oh, well done. That's brilliant. Well done, everyone. So, I hope you've enjoyed learning a bit of sign language today. I will look forward to being back again in 2 weeks' time. So, for now, have a lovely day and thank you for coming to join us and giving up your time to learn some sign language. I know you're going to make a big difference to people in the deaf community by being able to communicate with them and giving them that access. So, thank you for giving up your time to learn. And thank you again to the Royal Voluntary Service for the opportunity to come here and teach you all, from teaching people all across the UK. And thanks to our interpreter for making sure that we can all communicate together today. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care. Bye.